Hi. Hey everybody, it's the one, the only, the big bag bulldog is back. Also known as Mr. Metalhead Warrior. How are you guys doing out there? Did you miss me yet? I I know I've been gone for a little bit. By this time I would have been probably halfway through doing my reviews, on all the new records and albums that have come out this year. But it's going on August, I'm just starting to do it now. Again, being a move, surgery, and just getting this all together to take care of some, important stuff. Not that this is important, but just getting other things done. And I just took a break. But I've been watching other things too. And Mrs. Metalhead and a couple of people on here said, get your ass back in gear, get on there now. So I'm back. I got a stack of new releases right here. I also got some coming um, through Bandcamp. My birthday was a couple days ago. I turned a big 5-0. Mrs. Metalhead told me earlier, hold off on getting anything because my birthday was coming. I said, all right, whatever, no big deal. They didn't expect nothing. So, but yeah, I got some. I did an order on Bandcamp. A couple other orders. So I should have a bunch of stuff coming. A lot of new stuff, and I think some older stuff too. I got to see what I ordered. But anyways, I got. I want to do this in parts this year. Um, the ones I want to talk about are bands and albums that have, that have just come out this year, and there's also albums that from bands that have been out for past you know years now and have multiple releases, but they haven't been noticed, haven't been talked about. One of the first ones I want to talk about is a band called Prophetic Suffering, Rivalry of Thyself. Um, this is their debut. Nasty, nasty death metal, some grind mixed in, some it's almost like a black and death metal mixed in also. It's a harsh record. It's a heavier record. Um, from start to finish, there is no skip tracks on this. When I first heard the sample of this record, I think it was on YouTube or maybe on Bandcamp or some other site. I was blown away by it. And it was one that I wrote down like months back. It came out on Sentient Records. Um, a couple of the tracks that stick out for me, um, Holy Death, Sacred Rot. I think it's the first track on this record. Yeah, absolutely smacks you in the mouth. It has some intros that are actually great. Um, Gift of Decay, um, Empire of Faith. It's just raw, um, anti-church, anti-religion. It just smacks you in the mouth. Very heavy, very gnarly, uh, brutal album. If you guys have not heard of this guy, of these guys, pick this album up. Um, it's definitely one of my top albums right now of the year. Um, Definitely worth checking these guys out. You see the cover right there. You get it on Bandcamp. Um, on Bandcamp on their site, I believe, um, and Sentient Records also. So check these guys out. Prophetic Suffering, Rivalry of Rivalry of Thyself is the album. If you like it, you know, like the death metal, it's hard, in your face, gnarly, no skip tracks, no run-ons. Check these guys out. Very, very, very much so. Like I said, it's probably gonna be towards the end of the year. It might be in my top 5. I can tell you that right now. Another one is a band called uh, I've been pronouncing them like this since I first heard them. Grima. This is their 6th album overall, called Nightside. Um, Came out on Napalm Records. They're from Russia, and let's face it, probably, probably the only one of the great things besides vodka that's coming out of Russia right now is black metal and metal in general. I know people don't like it, tough shit. Um, Atmospheric, dark at times, very, very, very hard hitting black metal. A lot of people know how I feel about black metal. I'm into it. I like the old style razor of it. There's the disc. Um, these guys hit it spot on for me. I've been into these guys for about maybe three releases. I had to go back on these guys. These guys have been out since like um, 2013, I believe it was, or something like that. They have like this is like their sixth overall release. I do have Frostbitten, which came out in 2022. It's over about there somewhere. I think it is. Their first one, um, Devotion to Lord. Don't get the name twisted in your head. The album title. That was a great record. That's one of the ones I'm missing. Um, I've been looking for that and I found it a little bit pricey. So I'm gonna try to talk the guy down a little bit. It's a original graphic, original print of it. That's fine. Like I said, if you're if you're into Satan, Lucifer's Hammer, um, even like um, early Emperor, uh, mid mid enslaved, check these guys out. Even like In Flames, even basically, but these, they're 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 much more atmospheric. Very good record. Um, like I said, I got into these guys a little bit later. And this album so far is a very impressive album. You know, the songs don't run on. Like I said, I'm very picky with black metal, especially atmospheric. But this does it for me. It's an absolutely great record. Like I said, Grima out of Russia, um, Nightside. Check these guys out. Next one I'll talk about is a band called Century. I never heard of these guys until now. They have another release out. Um, they're on this song is called the album's called Sign of the Storm. They're on Dying, Dying Victims Productions. But I've also seen them being distributed by Headsplit Records also. Um, very, very great brand. Into Candlemass, um, early on Fate's Warning, Sabotage, even Satan, Lucifer's Hammer, um, even Sabbath and Solitude Eternus. This is their second release. They have another release that came out in 23, Conquest of Time or something like that. Very good album, very good band. Um, like I said, I just heard these guys this year. I was blown away. I'm like, how did I miss these guys in 2023? Um, Another one that nobody has really talked about or even mentioned, which I think it's absurd and just mind blowing. You know, a lot of people that I know a lot of people are into their usual bands that have put out albums, you know, continuously for the past 10, 15 years, which is fine. So am I. I'm the same way. But every year, the first thing I look for are newer bands that are putting out debuts, bands that have been out for 1 or 2 years that aren't really noticed that are putting out incredible releases. Century is one of them. You know, you get bands that put out albums that drag on. Century, Prophetic Suffering, are bands that are are putting these albums out, mind-blowing records. They sound really, really good and not even getting noticed. So definitely check out Century. And like I said, if you're into that, like the heavy metal, doom type, um, Candlemass, Out to Eternus, like early Sabbath even, and early Fates Warning, Sabotage type. Check them out. I mean, you won't be disappointed. Trust me, you won't. I wouldn't tell people to buy an album if I wasn't, for it. Definitely. Check it out. Century, um, Sign of the Storm. Like I said, the sound's being distributed also by Headsplit Records. Definitely check them out. Next one is by a band called Contusion. Straight from out of New Jersey. This is their debut on Profound Lore. Bludgeoning death metal, grind, just nasty, unrelenting, killer death metal. No frills, no overdubs. It's not underdone, not overdone. Excuse me. It's done the right way. I first heard these guys, I was blown. Another one I was just blown away by. Profound Lore. Sorry about the glare. Profound Lore Records. I can't say no about it. Again, New Jersey. It's just hard hitting, stomping in the face. This type of brutal death metal, grind that I absolutely love. Non-stop. I would really love to see them, go further, and what they do going forward with the band. I think they have like a couple EPs out, a couple of demos, but normally it's like songs that really really stick out. For me, it's the entire record from the start of Endless Horror to Revenge. My favorite, Hemorrhage, Throne of Skulls, Incarnate, and even ending track, No Escape, mind blowing. In your face, no frills, straight up bludgeoning, nasty death metal with some grind thrown in, almost like a sword rot type lyric or vocals. If you're into early Cannibal Corpse, Incantation, Hemorrhage, God, anything along that line, just the brutality of it. Check these guys out. You will not be disappointed. Another one, debut from Washington, D.C. Another thing that's busy coming out of Washington, other than the fucking turbulent there. Blood Monolith, Profound Lore Records. It's just dirty and nasty shit. The Calling of Fire, from top to bottom, kick-ass record, in your face, bludgeoning death metal, grind, some black metal attributes, some war metal mixed in here too, which really caught my attention. Damn good record. Again, a record that's not being talked about enough by anybody. It's like shit like this going, under the radar, which it shouldn't be. I'm sorry to say, but it's bands like this that are keep flying that flag. The underground scene. These are bands that you won't see on your Spotify playlist. And everybody knows. Spotify is not a record label. It's a downloading site. So whoever thinks that bands are getting signed because they're a record label, you guys have no knowledge of what the hell you're talking about. I heard that today or yesterday from somebody, and I laughed. I was like, what are you talking about? Spotify is mainstream bullshit, which a lot of people are into that trend because that's all they know. This is the shit that you will not find on Spotify. independent labels, independent bands. So whoever thinks that Spotify's the way to go, right there, you have no clue what you're talking about. Anyways, now I get my rant out of the way. Um, one of the next one. Um, these guys are from Belarus, which is like near on the outskirts of like Russia and Ukraine and like that Poland area. Sodomic baptism. Just they're on black black fire pandemonium. Or no, I'm sorry. I don't remember what a label they're on. I can't really tell. Anyways, this is their second album. Their first one came out in 17. Black Fire Pendulum. I was just because I get the regulars mixed up. It's a two-man project. Um, they're on Brutal. I think it's Brutal Records. I'm pretty sure it's Brutal Records. Yeah, Brutal Records Productions. Nasty, in your face. This one is Contra Christum. Yeah, in your face. Again, nasty death metal, grind, black metal undertones to it. Another one I've been spinning for a while. You see it right there. It's just in your face. You're not gonna. Again, another band that's not being talked about enough. Why I don't know. You see it right there. Sardonic baptism. You see the guys there. I think one of these is a touring. If I'm not mistaken, a touring member. Um, last I heard, they were a two-man project. But like a lot of bands today, they'll add a second or third musician for touring or for studio sessions. But anyways, if you guys haven't heard of Sodomic Baptism, pick this guy's up, pick the record up, pick the album up. Um, Brutal Records, Production Records, pick it up. Again, this is probably gonna be in my top, probably my top 10. There's so many bands, so many albums coming out this week alone, in this month alone, going into October and mid-September, that you're gonna have. There's a lot of bands that have been putting out records. They have new ones coming out. Paradise Lost come out with a new one. Testament, new Anthrax, new Megadeth, new Castrate. It's coming out with a new one. It was Double Hammer, I think it is, coming out with a new one. I believe it is. I got a bunch of orders coming. I got some more that I'm gonna be doing probably today and tomorrow. And I still got these that I do want to talk about. Like I said, I'm breaking it down in parts. Instead of doing, 6, 7 videos, I'm gonna break it down in parts to where it's like about 4, maybe 5 parts, all depend on when I get the records. I'm probably not gonna do a top records of 2025. If I do, it's probably gonna be like a top 30, maybe a top 40. I know a lot of people are gonna have the same bands on their lists. I like sticking to like bands that aren't known, the unsigned, the underground bands, the indie labels. Again, not so much the bigger names, but the low level ones, the ones that need the exposure. You feel me on that one? Also, I'll be doing a 4-man production stream, which I'm going to be talking about Warhammer 666. We'll talk about Kai. Um, It's Devil Goat, a band that just signed Formium. They're they have their new one on Formium. It's also on Bandcamp, but it's not available. So check Formium. I got a couple more albums I want to talk about. Um, one of the next one is from Austin, Texas, Corpus Awful. Um, it's on $20 spin. This is their debut. If you're into incantation, early autopsy, um, cerebral rot, pick these guys up. It's not a real bad album. It comes in just under like 50 minutes. Um, the only thing, the only thing about this album that got me was the last track. It's 12 minutes long. I mean, some of the excuse me, some of the songs do drag out, but it's not a real bad record. It's just some of the songs are 5-6 minutes. You know, like the last track is like 12 minutes. It's not a real bad album. It's not a bad band. I actually like this record. This was another one that was coming out, and I heard it. I jumped on it. Is it? Um, just there. Corpus Awful, self-titled, debut. Not, not a real bad record whatsoever. Another one that I was, listening to for a while, and I'm very impressed with it. Because it's just, some of the songs do drag on, especially like the last one. It's like a 12-minute song, but it's not a bad record. I would seriously pick it up, give them a shot. Dark and death metal, some black metal attributes in it. Guitars do it's there. But like I said, pick it up if you're into incantation. Like I said, incantation, cerebral rot, early autopsy, deteriorate. It's along that line. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Check these guys out. One of the last ones I want to talk about. These guys, they're from, I want to say England, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's right. They're originally from Greece, but now they're over in Italy. Like the early part of their career, they start off in Greece, where they're originally from. They keep going back between Greece and Italy. So yeah. Arnan Agmar. If you're into Bathory, Old Man's Child, Rotting Christ, Marduk even, check these guys out. In your face, black and death metal, no frills, no skip tracks. Very, very, very heavy oriented album. Dark album at that. Nasty. Another album. I first heard them. I was blown away by them. I think they have like 2 or 3 releases out. There one in 2023, I think it was. A Tasm Dying Stars or something like that. This is my first time hearing them, so I'm gonna go back. I think I ordered the other ones. I had them on Bandcamp. But definitely check them out. They are on So Seller Records. Arnan Angmar. Very heavy, in your face, dark and death metal, dark black metal, anti-Christian occult themes, things like that. It's just nonstop. But I want to thank you guys for watching this. I know I was all over the place. I was setting up as I was doing it too, so I was like scribbling down. As everybody knows, I take down notes. I'll listen to the album and I'll write down things. I just scribbled it this time. I'm working on Mrs. Metalhead working on a totally new setup where I'm probably gonna have like 2 monitors with a dock. So this way I can just pull graphics like I want to and just put them up as I'm talking about it. Even albums that I don't have yet that I have coming, I just pull the graphic up and talk about them. Like I said, I use my Bandcamp primarily. I also use my iTunes. 99% of the chance, if I grab an album on my iTunes, I'm going to get it, and the album will automatically be deleted off my iTunes. I don't keep albums on my iTunes that I already have. The ones I have on there are albums I'm going to get interested in, and the albums I'm going to listen to, if I'm not too sure about it. Whereas my Bandcamp, I know the albums on there already that I want, which I have a bunch on my Bandcamp as it is right now, which I'm going to be ordering. Like I said, I got a bunch more coming. I got these I'm going to go through. I'm looking forward to working with a lot of people, including Shredbeard, Barry over at That Metal Show, Anthony from Metal Miners. I'm looking forward to doing some things with Paul Kai, awesome Hawaiian death doom, death metal, done the right way. Lee from Warhammer 666, my brother, putting out some insane black metal the way it should be done. My brother, awesome. Drusifer, looking do some things with him. Revik, I'm going from Word Red. I'm going to be talking about their Clawhammer Coven, which I have right over there. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. The collaboration that they did. I want to do some other work with other people. Going forward, I'm going to get back to what I was doing, and then and more. I can't wait to get the other monitors set up so I can do a lot more with the channel. I want to push the channel far. I know everybody's been asking me where have I been. I appreciate everybody that stuck around. Like I said, I know I lost some people. That was a fallout I'm not gonna get into. You know who you are. Leave it at that. Like I said, it was mind over matter. I didn't mind. I don't mind, and you sure as hell didn't matter. People show their true colors, and you just stop them. But anyways, enough of that bullshit crap. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, I got a stack of that I want to talk about going forward, especially 2025. A lot of great things have come out. I'm going to try to do it in parts. Where bands and albums I think that people should hear and should know about. I still got the Sodom album I want to talk about, the Cryptopsy album, Night album, the new Haunted record. I think is absolutely amazing record. New Dream Theater, which I do want to talk about. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. And like I always say, stay hard, stay metal, stay brutal, keep it metal. Support the underground, support the indies. Don't download, get the physical copy, support the bands. Whoever thinks Spotify whoever thinks bands get anything off of Spotify, you're wrong. You don't know nothing about it, so stop. Anyways, I'm the Bulldog. I'm back. Like I always say, if you're going to do something, make that shit count. I'm out.